can even call the local government chairman. Is he putting them in place for the incoming governor when, in fact, his government or his party did not win in Sokoto State? He also has 23 permanent secretaries sworn in just about 2 days ago. So these are the current happenings in the society, in our Nigerian society, politics. Now, today, we're actually talking about something that, for me, is born out of patriotism, because the figures behind it, probably, if they were to go the way of the ordinary Nigerians, will have been doing what they are doing here, maybe places like Canada or America, because it will have been more lucrative for them. But for me, I think for the love of their country, they decided to do it here. And of course, by the time we go into the discussion of today, you will not but agree with me that this thing is a new innovation that the young people of this country, the generations even yet born, should key into. So we are looking at the Nigeria's incursion into the digital education world. And with me to discuss the issues are two gentlemen. On my immediate right is Mr. Celestine Achi, who of course is a guru in software development. And if you like, is also the chief program developer as far as what we're talking about now is concerned. So Mr. Achi, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to be here for it.
Okay. Then on my immediate left, if you look at him, even if he puts off the cap, he's still a young man. If he puts on 2 caps, he's still a young man. And yet, he's the visionary or the man behind what we're going to talk about today. Yes. You can imagine a very young man like this who probably would have been somewhere, maybe in America, doing what he's doing in this country. Yes. So, relax, as we have Muofunanya Chizoba Muofunanya on my immediate left is actually the visionary or the man who actually put this idea together. So you are welcome to the program once again.
Thank you very much. Okay. Nice being here today.
Thank you. Now, we're looking at Educatial as a software that deals on education. I will put that question before you. I know, like we say in local parlance, you carry something for mind. So what is the so can you explain that education? Because I can't say it's educational now. So education, what is the how do you explain it to the ordinary people?
Well, education, the name, is education, as we all know.
Okay.
To educate,
okay.
to teach, to learn.
Okay.
Then share in it, like someone mentioned, is near to that is the address.
Okay.
Just like we have residential address,
okay.
and you can determine, you say, okay, this is my residential address.
Okay.
So education is the history, the essential, all the essentials, all the history about your academic, the progress, everything about education.
Okay.
So we can say it's nominal to education.
Okay. So you know that what we are saying, educational essentials.
Essentials.
Okay. Educational essentials.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying now. It's not just about watching television. You also watch with the intention of also learning, just like Umilo is also learning. So let me come to you now, the software guru, because I know it's not easy. Honestly speaking, if Nigeria was to accept the local software engineers, I know there are a lot of young people who ordinarily would not want to leave Nigeria because software engineering, provides a lot of income for those people that are skillful in those areas. Now, I want to ask you a question. This education, now, he has just said it means educational essential. That is all that is involved in education. So we are looking at a software that has provided for everything that the professors, the teachers in primary school, the man who wants to learn at home, the man who ordinarily would not have been given opportunity to go to school, all that he wants to get and learn at his own pace, and possibly also all that he needs to know in order for him to impart knowledge the way it should be. That is what I understand it to have said. Yeah, I hope I'm correct.
In fact, you have just given a concise summary of what education is.
Okay. Now tell us something about this education.
Okay, so Educatial, you can call it your one-stop shop for the education sector. In other words, just as you have rightly and aptly captured, it's an ecosystem platform that unifies everything about education. Ending the frustration out there. So education is just there to make education easy for all the stakeholder groups that you have rightly captured. Yes.
Okay. Now, during the COVID-19, we have the occasions where the elite were able to key into Zoom and other software that made it possible for pupils or students to learn while they were at home. Teachers will be teaching them, maybe in the comforts of their homes also, whereas the students also will be learning in the comforts of their home, and all of them will be seeing themselves as though they were in the class. Is there any relationship between your software and this, or is there any part of the suite that provides for this kind of opportunity for people to learn as a group?
Yes, and even much more. And that's why we don't. It's ambitious, actually. We don't want to. Education is a software as a service ecosystem. It combines three elements and much more. But the three basic elements is the learning management system, which you have mentioned. It also has the course management system. It also has the information management system. In other words, it captures not just online learning, but goes beyond online learning to channeling a pathway for each target groups, to succeed. And there's also a part for government. I mean, how do you make informed decision? This morning we were watching the strides of the Delta State government as far as education is concerned. The investment they have made. I mean, Delta State stands as one of the states that has more learning institutions than any other state in Nigeria, at least as of today. So you can imagine if you have such infrastructure, now backing it up with a software that can further enhance the effectiveness and the efficiency. And that is what Educatial brings to board.
Okay. Now, the visionary. You see, when we talk about Educatial now, in Nigeria, sometimes we value some of the things that actually we can feel and see. Software is like an abstract product. We don't see it, and yet it does a lot for us. So how can you explain this for somebody who ordinarily is not computer literate enough, and yet he needs these things? And maybe he's a proprietor in a primary, secondary school, somewhere, something that he can hold on to and say, yes, of a truth, I need this thing for my school.
Yeah, when we are building education, is a 2 years research, pinpointing the areas, the barriers we have in the education sectors. So, for instance, I'm a parent, and we do have parents meeting, parents engagement with the school. After that meeting, everybody goes home. I'm coming up from the area of parents, because I believe that education starts from home. And the parents are one of the most critical stakeholders in education. A teacher, you will teach a child in the school, and then the child will go home. The continuous of that education come from the parents to enforce the assignment and the test and all that. So when the parents ask, at times when I go to school, the parents will ask teacher, how is my kids? I believe that what the parents is asking is the accountability of that child. So now, what we do in education is, in a layman where everybody can understand in a parent's aspect, is that with education, you do not need to asking teachers on the performance of your word in the school. You can have all these things on the tab on education. You can assess your child, the behavior, the academic performance, and the area of improvement. So then, in the area of schools, the operator of the school management, through education, can be able to know what the teacher are teaching, if it's aligned with the curriculum or the goal of the desired objective of that subject to a child. So a principal or headmistress can be in her office and get information. So what we call it in education, we have three A's and E. Accountability, affordability, accessibility, and equality of education. So these are the things I see that barriers we have in education sector, not only in Nigeria, not only in all over the world. So students can be, teacher can be able to give account of what he's teaching. The school will confirm this. They across board, all the stakeholders and the government that are making investment in education. We are able to know the policy and the funding they are putting. What is it impacting, and the number according to each child in the education sector. So this is the gap and the things that we have in mind when we're building education. Okay. And this is what education can offer.
Okay. Now I understand you clearly. But these questions will not be for you, but it will be for him. You know, a long time ago, I was involved in a training session where a man, a commissioner of police for that matter, he told me, he said, Mr. Milo, let me tell you, this is what you are saying, I like it too, but I think it should be for the boys, because at my age, I don't think I can learn again. I said, no, okay, let me show you something. I brought it to a software, and I showed him the help section. He was, wow. So I can't be stopped. I said, yeah, it can't be stopped. So the question I want to ask, but we'll go on break. When we come back, we answer the question whether you have a help, segment in this your software, such that if anybody, like he talked about the parents now assessing the report of the children, if there's a section that a parent who probably gets confused can go to and obtain help. So when we come back from this break, then think about it. So.
What you dey look now?
Madam, the road confuse me.
I think say na taxi driver you be now.
Madam, na I be Governor Kowa don't do too many roads, they confuse me now.
So now we go there, yeah?
Hey, Governor Kowa, want put me for problem. Make ask this man where they come.
You better do.
Hey, bros, good afternoon.
Shaman, I greet you. I dey look for the road where lead to Oshari District.
You dey look for road?
Yes.
So you don't know where you dey go?
My brother, I don't know Sadawa carry here. You know say Governor Kowa don't do link road well link different communities. Now so he still do link road well link different streets, different areas.
My brother, the entire person. Other people go talk say they go do something, they not go do am. Governor Kowa go to say go do 2,000 kilometers of road for your administration. Now I don't do over 2,000 kilometers of road. Now me the sufferer now because I know they no road again. I hear now say Governor Kowa don't go inaugurate Ugbolo Akoko Igbo Road and Old Lagos bypass for Gbanam with critical adjoining roads and discharge channels for Shebeli North local government area.
You see the link road track of Nakowa they do, they attract investors, come there test.
Okay, driver, you dey discuss. I get where they go, and you better go no more roads because 58 other roads are waiting inauguration across Delta State.
My brother, I go remember you in prayers. Now only God go help you.
Governor Kowa.
This is reaching you from Ministry of Information.
Smart Delta presents.
He has done so well, they call him a road master. For the job Okowa has done, that's a good one.
Vox Pop segment.
Across Delta State, to all the places I've been to, he has done beautiful works there. In my village, there are roads everywhere. Even where you don't even expect they would tile the road, you go there, just travel for like 1 month and you're back, the road place is tiled. And I'm like, this governor is he's actually a road master. Governor Okowa is a road master.
The other one, what they make me happy, they say we don't grow plenty entrepreneurs. Though in small businesses, when they do now, some of them don't go. Those when we first do, I don't see some of them when don't build houses. Some don't get money, marry wife. Some don't they employ other people. I don't see somebody when don't train over 200 people. Not to say everybody don't get employed, but the kind of education when the day before, it not be like that for Delta State again, because many people don't get work to do. We know they too make mouths, but we don't they do plenty for here. The US went there for Ozoro, the one there for Savaya, and the one there for Abo, plus the one there for Abraka. All of them they function well. When every other person they go strike, they not go strike because everything when they need, we don't provide for them. All pregnant women for this state, all children under 5 years of age, all of them, they will be waka inside hospital. Once you waka inside hospital, they will give you card, they will treat you nothing. Nobody they ask you for anything. Delta in the past, it was like a beehive of places where you have youth activities that create all manner of things. But that is no longer so because the youths are seeing hope. They are seeing some of their colleagues get to become entrepreneurs and they are hopeful.
Go to the riverine area, look at their hospital, look at their schools, look at their roads. The governor, being somebody that is very focused, he was able to achieve all that.
Drainage now, after Okowa might have finished with it, erosion and everything and flood will be over.
It is big enough to carry any volume of water, and it's not only carrying it, it will deposit it right to the river.
I thank am for this road wey he do for us because na easy for us. Before na turn round we dey go turn round.
And they tell Okowa say thank you because we are supposed to spend 300, we don dey spend 150. So Okowa, thank you.
Was in a very bad condition that motor sink, but now after the road is being done well, Okowa, you try better style, you try. In fact, we won't make it rule again.
I came here from 7 years ago. When I came, the road was very, very bad. But after 4 or 5 years, we saw some company came, and after measuring the road, we saw work started. And to the glory of God today, the road is very good. We're enjoying the road. In short, we're even tired of enjoying the road as I'm talking to you now.
wetin you dey look na?
Madam, the road confuse me.
I think say na taxi driver you be na.
Madam, na I be Governor Kowa don do too many roads, e dey confuse me now.
So na so we go dey here?
Hey, Governor Kowa wan put me for problem. Make I ask this man where they come.
You better do.
Hey, bros, good afternoon.
Shaman, I greet you. I dey look for the road wey lead to Oshari District.
You dey look for road?
Yes.
So you don't know where you dey go?
My brother, I no know say I don waka reach here. You know say Governor Kowa don do link road wey link different communities. Now so he still do link road wey link different streets, different areas.
My brother, the thing tire person. Other people go talk say they go do something, they no go do am. Governor Kowa go talk say go do 2,000 kilometers of road for your administration. Now I don't do over 2,000 kilometers of road. Now me dey suffer now because I know they no road again. I hear now say Governor Kowa don go inaugurate Ugbolo Akoko Igbo Road and Old Lagos bypass for Gbanam with critical adjoining roads and discharge channels for Shebeli North local government area.
You see, the link road track of Governor they do, they attract investors, come Delta State.
Oga driver, you dey here dey discuss. I get where they go, and you better go no more roads because 58 other roads are waiting inauguration across Delta State.
My brother, I go remember you in prayers. Now only God go help you.
Governor Kowa.
This is reaching you from Ministry of Information.
Yes, Celestine, the software guru, I was asking a question. I said, in the suit now, is there any help module where people who ordinarily may be, stranded without necessarily going to call you or something that can go to at least get some help?
Yes, we actually have two modules for that. We have tutorials which we already deploying, and the tutorials is for each segment and sub-segment of the solution. And beyond the tutorials, we also have what we call educational care. Okay, the duty of educational care, customer care, is to also guide the users on the effective use of education, both the segment and sub-segments.
Okay. Now, I don't want to forget this aspect because we'll go into details about this software, how it works and how it will help us. But before I go into that, let me now ask you, we are looking at, software is not akara, it's expensive. yes. For the government of Delta State, for example, now to key into this provision, that is this technology, or maybe the big time proprietors of schools. Yes, how can they come into this system now? Is there any arrangement for you to either give to them free of charge, or they have to have an interaction with you before they get the software?
Well, if education is open to partnership with every stakeholder, and not only we have a particular package, what we do in education is we listen to you, we listen to the area that you need help and the solution that peculiar based on your location or on the needs of the state. So in education, we're open for partnership, we are open for every kind of discussion.
Okay, now when you say partnership, I'm talking of partnering with let's say the state government now. Yeah. How do you want them to come in? Because I'm looking at a situation where if you are giving for the private participators now, it may not take much of discussions for maybe a proprietor to say yes, I need the software, give it to me. It may not take them time, but the government, the government is thinking, oh wow, this is good. How do you want the government to actually come in so that it can be a software that is applicable to at least, if not all, most government-owned schools? How?
Like for instance, in Anambra State, there's a local government that invited us after our stakeholder engagement. They invited us for discussion, and they told we discussed the areas of they need our solution to work. So because education, just like we explained before, education is a one-time shop. It's like going to a supermarket. You want this, you pick according to your needs. So what education is in statewide or in local government wise, what we do is we look at the area which of our solution, you understand, that will work based on your popularity problem of that location. You understand, to bridge the gap and the barriers that we have on that location. So education is just like we say, it's everything education, but it's not that it has a peculiar, but we look at a solution, then out of 22 solutions we have, you know, which can work in your area. So what works here might not be needed in the other area.
I think to add to what the CVU has said, the other critical aspect we believe we can work with the state government is in the area of sustainable education. Okay, and what do I mean? Initially, I mentioned the infrastructure that has been put in place across Delta State. Okay, how do we make them unified? Okay, how do we ensure that beyond we are not beyond the COVID? How do we ensure that there is collaborative learning in a way that is not just impactful, but in a way that also help the state government achieve their set objectives as far as education is concerned.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this question now, because I know that the government sometimes they are not like individual who say bring it. You know, you must have to initiate and maybe move. They say if a small child brings his or her hand, you know, telling the father to pick him up. Have you written a proposal, for instance, now to Delta State government, or is there any, you know, apart from discussing on television now, has there been any interaction with government officials, you know, by way of proposal or, you know, otherwise?
Yes, in fact, what we did, like the stakeholder engagement, we have not launched, by the way, but the stakeholder engagement we have been having across states. And what we did for Delta is that we invited the key stakeholders, like the Commission of Education. We know that yesterday a rep of the PAMSEC was there, and what have you. So we expect that going forward there will be more collaboration in terms of looking at ways we can work together to achieve part of the SMART objectives.
Don't tell me how much it costs. Because I know you just say it's cheap. so I already know the cost. It's very cheap. So, but beyond that, is there provision for individuals? Say, for example, now me, in my child's school, they are not using Educatial, but I on my own decides to get the software. You know, how does it help me monitor my child, or how does it help me to actually ensure that my child gets the kind of education I want him to get in Nigeria?
Well, just like I mentioned earlier,
in the school where she attends, they are not using Educatial. You know, but I want to have something that is digital for my child to actually learn.
Okay, in education we have different.
The speed of change in our millennia is breakneck and cuts across all strata of our human life. The way we use money, the way we are entertained, and now the way we learn. Stakeholders of the educational sector can finally transform their approach to education. Get ready for a game changer. Introducing Educatial, the one-stop shop software as a service ecosystem for everything education. The analog approach to education and all its pitfalls is phased out. Educatial is the new and exciting way to learn. A software as a service ecosystem platform for education sector.
Welcome to a new day with amazing possibilities. Education is more than learning. It is a transformational experience that makes you think, learn, express what you know, affect lives, and do business all in one place.
Do more with the ecosystem features of Educatial. Create your own free online TV channel with EduTV. Podcast and broadcast your stories, news, and also monetize same with Edu Radio. Enjoy virtual learning and gamification via EduField. Social networking across regions and schools is yours truly with EduChat. Edu Marketplace is the suitable marketplace for education vendors. Source funding or give funding for education with EduFund. Understand education analytics.
So there is an aspect of it that there are some games, some areas now where the child can pick. Maybe even if you call it game or something that yes, it's game, but it's mathematical or something. Is that what you are trying to say? That a child can pick from?
Yes, in fact, it's like it seems to always be in a strategy session. Okay, so in Educatial, one of the 22 apps, educational tools that we have is called EduGames.
Okay.
And the idea is for the young ones to find learning engaging and fun.
Okay.
So yes, even without the school deploying Educatial, a parent can say, yes, I want my child to learn through gamification.
Okay.
So he uses EduGames for that purpose.
Okay.
He can say, my child has this innate skill of creating content. The child can begin to create content and even monetize same.
Okay.
You can say, okay, my child can actually write a poem, or can write a set of poems. Okay. The child can decide to use Edu Publisher and publish his poem.
Okay.
So right from being a kid, he's already using Educatial to do what? To publish and to also earn income.
Yeah.
Okay. But beyond that, going back to the initial question you asked, I think I must have missed that.
Yes.
Okay. Educatial can also be deployed without the internet.
Okay.
Okay. So you can imagine how effective it will be for the state government using a platform that does not use internet to deploy education.
Okay.
How much effective can it be?
Okay. And in which case, the area I like most now, you said the child can develop maybe fuel and also publish it and begin to make money.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't adult also make money from Edu? I want to call it Edu Masha. We used to have what they call it Edu Masha. So can't education, or has it that platform where an adult can maybe, if you like, call it a session where you can develop maybe website, bring a television, radio, whatever it is that can, put yourself on the world platform for you to also make money. Is there any provision?
Exactly. I mean, it's not. That's why we call it a one-stop shop.
Okay.
It's not just for the children, but even for adults.
Okay.
So if it caters for the government, it caters for the individual, irrespective of your age demography, whether you are Gen Z or you are just the baby, you are the baby boomer generation or what have you. So no matter the generation, there is something specific for you. And even for DSTV, I commend what you are doing. You can also use our Edu TV and create your own online TV.
Okay.
So
data broadcasting can even use Edu.
Exactly.
Education.
Yes, education.
To develop its own
online TV.
Yeah. So the DBS can be online.
Yes. And I welcome them to use it.
Okay. And in which case, how can they pay for that? Because when that is done now, maybe DBS will be earning money from that. How do they pay you? Or is it once and for all or something?
Okay, now using Edu TV, which is one of the tools, is actually free. Okay. Where the money aspect comes in is if you want to monetize your content. Okay, so if you have a content that is not free and you want to monetize it, then you pay us commission from what you have earned. So that is
you have a way of monitoring it,
Yes, not just we. The owner of the online TV has access to the back end. We also have access to the back end, so we both know exactly what you are earning, and we know what our commission is and what is coming to you. It will be agreed.
And it comes up deducted.
Yes. Exactly.
So, viewers at home or wherever you may be, very shortly you will see some of the things we are talking about. You will see clips of what have been done in the past, and we are not just talking for the first time. You will see some of all those things on screen.
The speed of change in our millennia is breakneck, and it cuts across all strata of our human lives. The way we use money, the way we are entertained, and now the way we learn. Stakeholders of the educational sector can finally transform their approach to education. Get ready for a game changer. Introducing Educatial, the one-stop shop software as a service ecosystem for everything education. The analog approach to education and all its pitfalls is phased out. Educatial is the new and exciting way to learn. A software as a service ecosystem platform for education sector.
Welcome to a new day with amazing possibilities. Education is more than learning. It is a transformational experience that makes you think, learn, express what you know, affect lives, and do business, all in one place.
Do more with the ecosystem features of Education. Create your own free online TV channel with EduTV. Podcast and broadcast your stories, news, and also monetize same with Edu Radio. Enjoy virtual learning and gamification via EduField. Social networking across regions and schools is yours truly with EduChat. Edu Marketplace is the suitable marketplace for education vendors. Source funding or give funding for education with EduFund. Understand education analytics and learning behaviors.
School administration.
Virtual tours for campus marketing and learning management system via Edu Intelligence. Enjoy the revolutionary social media platform for schools with Edu Socials. Imagine the possibilities of a virtual community for educators, brands and alumni who want to invest or sponsor education, students, informal learners, campuses, learning institutions, and schools. It is a one-stop shop for everything education.
Join the pathway to success today.
Introducing Educatial, the one-stop shop software as a service ecosystem for everything education. The analog approach to education and all its pitfalls is phased out. Educatial is the new and exciting way to learn. A software as a service ecosystem platform for education sector.
Welcome to a new day with amazing possibilities. Education is more than learning. It is a transformational experience that makes you think, learn, express what you know, affect lives, and do business, all in one place.
Do more with the ecosystem features of Education. Create your own free online TV channel with EduTV. Podcast and broadcast your stories, news, and also monetize same with Edu Radio. Enjoy virtual learning and gamification via EduField. Social networking across regions and schools is yours truly with EduChat. Edu Marketplace is the suitable marketplace for education vendors. Source funding or give funding for education with EduFund. Understand education analytics and learning behaviors.
School administration.
Virtual tours for campus marketing and learning management system via Edu Intelligence. Enjoy the revolutionary social media platform for schools with Edu Socials. Imagine the possibilities of a virtual community for educators, brands and alumni who want to invest or sponsor education, students, informal learners, campuses, learning institutions, and schools. It is a one-stop shop for everything education.
Join the pathway to success today.
Okay, let me join that last woman Imole. That is light. Yes, okay. Now, can you give a summary of the modules? Maybe, because you don't have to, I know for you to explain a module, it can even take an hour, but just one after the other,
Okay.
Like the...
Okay, so I will just, the first one is called EduTV, and that is that gives you the ability to create your online TV and also monetize your content if you so wish. Then we also have Edu Radio, that's online radio in case you love to podcast or you love broadcasting your shows using audio, and that is Edu Radio for you. And then we have EduChat. That is the chat component, but beyond being the chat component, it allows a community kind of chatting. Okay.
When you say chat component, you mean somebody can also chat like we do with a WhatsApp?
Exactly. But beyond that, just imagine yourself, you are in a WhatsApp group, and you are giving one of you the opportunity to show live in video format. Okay, and speak even while you are still chatting. Okay. It also has a macro blogging function that allows you to DM the person right in the chat component. So that is EduChat for you. Okay. And then we have the Edu News. Edu News is your news aggregator, and what it basically does is it aggregates news across campuses, not just in Nigeria, Africa, and the aim is to go global. So that is for the media component of education. Then we have the collaboration component, and that's EduField. So you mentioned Zoom. Okay, we have Zoom, we have Google Meet, we have Teams, and what have you. And what EduField does is combine the pain points, the weak points of these platforms. Okay, in solving collaborative and virtual learning. So with EduField, you don't need to trouble yourself about having to spend 40 minutes on Zoom. Okay, you can use it seamlessly. Okay, you can run your virtual meetings, your virtual conferences, your strategy sessions, and even your virtual learning right on EduField. But beyond that, it also gives you the benefit of analytics. So you can imagine just using something for virtual conference and still having analytics and the branding component. Then we also have under collaboration. We also have, apart from EduField, we have EduForum. So you can imagine all the campuses we have in Delta State. Okay, and you are able to do what I call a 3D tour of those campuses and facilities, targeting prospects and what have you. We also have EduHub. Now EduHub is the killer, is the unique selling proposition of education. Because with EduHub, it combines the learning management system, the course management system, the information management system that you can deploy across campuses without using the internet. So you say bye-bye to broadband. You understand the frustration that broadband gives. So beyond EduHub, we also have EduForum, which is the 3D virtual aspect of education. And apart from that, we have the school hubs. Under school hubs, we have the unique identification system, which is global. Okay. If you know anything about metrics or matriculation number, what EduSIM does is give you a unique identifier right from your nursery school to even when you do your masters. Okay, the parent is able to know exactly what is happening in terms of performance, in terms of behavior. The students are able to give review of every student. The government is able to know exactly what is happening across campuses, across schools, in terms of performance. Okay, from both the administrators and the teachers. Then we have Edu Intelligence. What is the purpose of data without insights? We have the smart agenda of the Delta State government. But how do you know that the smart agenda in education is working if you don't have the insights or analytics to decide? Okay, so it gives you that insight to make informed decision as far as education policy is concerned. That's Edu Intelligence. And beyond Edu Intelligence, we have Edu Social. Okay, currently, I mean, about two weeks ago, Elon Musk came with this announcement that they are rolling out the audio chat function and the video chat function. And we already have that on education. Right now, you can go on the Google Play Store and download Alpha, HAWFAA, and download Edu Social. With it, you are able to do what? Call without a number. You don't need a number. All you need is an email to register. Once you register, you can call anybody, just like you make a phone call. Okay, you can video call anybody, just like you do a phone call. Yes.
So that so the person you are calling now, just for him to have email address, you call him, or I don't understand.
No, so if you want to use Edu Social or Alpha,
yes,
you have to register.
Okay.
Once you register, that is the end. You don't need to register anymore.
Okay.
So whoever is using Edu Social or Alpha, no matter anywhere in the world,
yes,
you can call without having a phone number.
Okay.
Just with your phone, you call right from Alpha app. You can call the person. You can
so long as he
exactly just like WhatsApp. If I don't have WhatsApp, you can call me WhatsApp.
Yes.
So if
you don't have to do with phone number.
Yeah, but Alpha doesn't have to do with phone number.
Okay.
Once you register, you are registered.
Okay.
So even if you misplace your phone, you don't need to begin to look for authenticating your phone number again. No.
Yeah.
Okay, it becomes standard and static. Again, it combines the element of what I call social media and dark social.
Okay.
Okay, into a single entity.
Okay.
So that is Alpha and Educatial for you. Okay. Then you have we also have please be reminded because we have EduPay. Sorry, EduFund. Let me start with EduFund. Okay, EduFund. We know that one of the greatest challenge of education is funding. Okay, funding of research, funding of education, both primary, tertiary, and what have you. And what we have done in the EduFund is to ensure that funding for education, whether as a grant, whether as a loan, whether as scholarship, whether it's investment, are all made easy. So if you are out there and you have this concept that can help education, then you say, okay, fine, you come to Edu Invest and say, look, I have this component, but I don't have the money to fund it. And this will help education in my state or in my community. Okay, so our funding partners and government and people and philanthropists see exactly what you have and decide to invest in what you have. Thereby, we are reducing, we are converting tech waste to tech wealth. So I can go on and like I said, we have 22 components. So let me just stop there.
Hold it there. And viewers, wherever you may be, the telephone number is on the screen there. If you want to participate and be part of the conversation, you can just call. Somebody has been calling, but you can call now. You have opened the line. Now, for you, the visionary, I have a child in probably in a secondary school, and I want the child to study in a good university, anywhere in the world. Is there provision for? Can I search online through Educatial? Is there any provision like that?
Yeah, well, that's a very intelligent question. We have what we call EduSearch.
Okay.
In that EduSearch, what we do is that you can, if you want your child to study in any school, you can come to EduSearch and see the information of that school, what is happening in that school, the school fees, the environment, and the number of students there or the course they are offering. Then you can also in EduSearch compare the school and other schools through our AI, our artificial intelligence, that will give you, okay, this is the recommendation based on your interest or what you are searching, that the school you are searching, this is the comparison. Then you parents can make informed decision about that.
Okay. Now, Mr. Achi, or should I call you comrade? Oh, this is your cap now. This is not a comrade's cap. You can take. Okay, let's take this call.
Comrade is defined.
So the prospect now of somebody, searching for admission through Educatial, you have just explained it. Now you talked about the news aspect of it. You talked about the news aspect of Educatial. Is the news restricted to news from the campuses, or you can get breaking news, any kind of breaking news, or you are talking about educational news from schools and educational institutions? Is it a news?
Yes.
Any news at all?
The focus, any news, but news related to education, basically.
Okay.
Yes, we just want to limit it to that. That is the exact focus.
Okay.
It must not come from the campuses. It can come from the media. Okay. It can come from netizens. It can come from, but the news coming from netizens are, of course, are vetted to be sure that they are not fake. They are not fake news. That they are authentic news.
Okay, let's hear this man.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, we're hearing you. Maybe it's having a problem with network. Yes, so the news can
come from any segment.
Yes.
But as long as it's related and focused on education.
Okay. There's one other area I'm very much interested in, the Edu Hub. Can you explain it? Because you say it can be used offline, and it can help to. There are a lot of things you said. Can you explain it again, so that even if that is only what somebody gets, and he has a computer at home and maybe or in an office. Okay, explain that area.
So what Edu Hub, what we did in Edu Hub is to combine, like I said, the three elements. Okay. The learning management system. And what is learning management system? Learning management system is what most campuses or most institutions use during the COVID, where they can teach online, virtually, and what have you. But we have made it more comprehensive, okay, in a way that even the administrators, even the government, and even the sponsors or parents or community where those schools are all involved. Okay, and beyond that, it also have what I call a course management system, meaning that for each course or for each subject, okay, it is so detailed that it makes hybrid format of learning possible and easy. So in other words, I can be a student. I want to be a student in Osadebe University. For example. But I'm also working in Oka. Okay, and I can't attend class on a daily basis. How do I make that possible? So we brought about the hybrid management part of it. That I can come when I can come, and I can join virtually when I can join virtually, and everything is being attended to. For instance, it tells you exactly how many times a student attended the class. In terms of accountability, which the CVO mentioned, it also tells the school administrator how many times a lecturer was in class to teach. It tells you the course progress. Okay, how is the teacher, how are the students progressing as far as that course is concerned? Okay, the government is also able to know how these schools, these campuses, these institutions, how are they doing compared to other institutions outside the state. So it helps them to begin to close the gap that exists. So that is and again, like I said, the beauty of it is that you can deploy this without using the internet. And to deploy it, all you need to do is just invite us. We look at what you have, advise you on what you need to put on ground for it to work offline. So that when you have the frustration of broadband, you don't disturb yourself. What do? You just key into Educatial, and it makes life much easier.
Well, I know that Educatial is a perfect listen, but let me just ask you, for the sake of asking, what is the failure rate? In terms of attacks by hackers. Sometimes also you want to do something on the internet and you discover that it just gives you one kind language you cannot understand, but all points to the fact that either there is no network or there is error in the program or something. What is the
Okay, when it comes to tech, you cannot say perfection. Okay, there's always going to be improvement. Okay, this is a better version of education and can only get better. But in terms of when you say failure rate, you have to look at different aspects. Is it in terms of the server management or in terms of security and what have you? But if I take them as a whole, I can say that we have done all we can possibly do to ensure that the failure rate is at zero level, even though we know there are areas of improvement, and that's why we are having this stakeholder engagement to get feedback into areas we might have, there must have been an oversight or something. So as we get the feedback, for instance, during our engagement in was it Oka or Port Harcourt or Abuja, somebody mentioned issues of the disabled, and we saw that there's a need for people to be able to read on the go. So I have a book. Okay, I'm not an avid reader of physical books. So I can begin to read the book by listening to the audio. So for every book, it can be converted to audio format on education. So I can read on the go. So we have made sure that at least in terms of bounce rate, in terms of security, we have 3 layers of security beyond having the dark side. So to cover for the side of server management, cloud management, and security. Yes. Okay.
You just mentioned cloud now. In terms of backup for somebody who does all these things, you have to do your job, and at the end of the day, you find a way of pulling it out from Educatial and save on your hard disk, or you can. Is there any way of maybe ensuring that you save whatever you? Because we have seen sometimes when people go on internet browsing, you find a book that you want to use, you go through the book. By the time you come back again the following day, you can't find it again. Is there anything for people who are like that? Maybe you see something that you actually like in Educatial, you want to save it in a particular place where you can come back again and find it, or have to pull it out to your hard disk or something.
Yes, we have what I call EduDrive. EduDrive comes under the EduTools that has EduDrive, EduScanner, and all that. Now, for EduDrive, it gives you the ability to save all your work or all your favorite items on EduDrive, and you can access it on the go, on the cloud. So that's what that has been made available, so that you don't need to, just like you said, lose any data. Okay, it's stored, and again, you can as well go ahead to even integrate it to your Google Drive if you have one. Or let's assume that your Google Drive is filled up. What do? Do you begin to pay $1 to get more space? No, you use EduDrive to complement what you have.
Now, the visionary chief. Now, like I keep saying, you know, in our environment, we have a lot of money, and getting some of all this that aid our efficiency and all that is not too easy. How do we pay if we want to buy or get involved in education? Is this something that we buy online, or have to come to your office, or maybe somehow you come to our office to give to us or something?
Well, we made education affordable. One, you don't need to break your bank. Two, make it also accessible, that you can be anywhere you are, and then register or sign up with education, either free or the enterprise or pre-new. Then on enterprise enterprise package, what you have to do is just call us or write us email. I'm talking from the government or schools. Then we now sit down and discuss. So we make it accessible to everybody.
So now you just mentioned the enterprise. You know, a lot of persons, you know, so there is a place where you say there's an entrepreneur in Nigeria here. You know, some persons came to him to say they were advising him on what to do to improve on his business. The man said, but you are advising me, I am richer than you. So you know, anytime we talk about enterprise, you know, a lot of persons get interested because you want to be bigger than that person that ordinarily, if you want to go talk to him now, he'll be asking you questions. So he talked about the enterprise package. Now, this enterprise package, how do you get it to the people, and what do they have to do for them to actually get it? Is it is there something that you get on commission basis? You know, for instance, I'm talking for example now. I, Augustine Milo, want to talk to somebody to tell him this and that can be done, and I come to education now to say, please give me because I want to give to somebody. Is there any arrangement like that people can be middlemen between you and the end user? You have something like that?
Yes, we do.
What other people call distributors?
Yes, we do, and we have it on 3 levels. Okay, the first level are our partner consultants. Okay, so that's what you're talking about. We have partner consultants. Beyond having partner consultants, we have institutional partnerships as well. Okay, which where we also share commission and revenue. Now, for the enterprise package you mentioned, remember that 80% of education is free. The other 20% are those that relate to enterprise. We say enterprise because it needs mass deployment, which an individual will not be able to deploy. That is where the issue of invitation and, for instance, as we sit here, we wouldn't have come to Delta